What's goody? It's your boy and I'm back with another banging video, and today I got an interesting video, and y'all like when I go kind of get off topic with it, you know what I'm saying, get off of the music and the sports for a little bit. And like I said, we want to do a lot of different type of stuff. We got statistics on cops on black crime. Now y'all know we be getting on some of the hard topics on the channel, so if you don't like this video or you don't appreciate the topic you see in the title, I would advise you to leave now if you don't like hearing some things that's, you know, reality. But with that being said, if you're new to the content, I appreciate you. It's a family thing. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. By liking the video, the way the YouTube algorithm works, more people will see the video and you directly helping me to grow, and I would really appreciate that. But we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it. I actually like these type of topics, get into a conversation with y'all, you know, have conversations in the comments, have that hard conversation, man, because most people don't want to do it. Either way it goes, man, we're gonna speak, we're gonna see if we learn anything, if we figure out anything, or if we could come to any type of conclusions from this video. You know what I'm saying? It's always a message and something. You just gotta find it. But let's just go ahead and jump into it. We're gonna speak a little bit throughout. We're gonna speak after. Let's get it.
Alright, here we go. Let's talk about Black Lives Matter. So this guy started it, and here's what he said.
Kaepernick
oppresses black people. It's bigger than football. Oppresses black people. And we're talking about violence. This initially emerged as a result of violence against black people, killing black people. Okay? Go to the next slide. What's it take? This happened. This is from just last week in St. Louis. Protests that arose as a result of the police killing a young black man who was running from them, driving away from them, and there are all sorts of things happening. But the police officer got him.
I just want to stop it real quick. Just to touch on that Colin Kaepernick subject. I watched his whole entire Netflix series, and he had a whole series talking about like everything, the oppression, and he's a big advocate of that. And he came up in a white home, so he got treated differently in his school and everything. He never really understood why until he realized it was because of the color of his skin. And he's not even, I don't think he's even fully black. But that's just that beside the point. To the actual video and the guy that's doing the presentation, I just want to start off by saying I appreciate him even more because he's a white guy speaking on these topics, because a lot of Caucasian people kind of neglect it, and they be like, because it's not happening to me, it's not true. It's definitely not true. No matter what you say, it's not true. I appreciate people that are willing, because it's probably not a problem he goes through. The problem he's talking about right now, the white guy, the black kid getting killed by the police when he was driving away. That, in a sense, I'm not saying it's a problem that white people don't have. I'm saying it's not as big a problem as we have. Like, it's hard to explain, but I see that he has the understanding and he's willing to speak out on the topics, even though he's that color. He doesn't have to do that. So I just want to give him appreciation for that. That was a big thing for me. You know, these topics, some black people don't even believe in these topics. And you know, it's so crazy because some black people don't believe in these topics because they have never been in these circumstances, and they have never seen this, or they have never been through it. So you're gonna neglect it. That's just how people are. You know what I'm saying? But just because you never been through it doesn't mean it isn't true. And I really appreciate people like him because he's willing to speak up, and he's educating black children, not only black children, but he's educating the youth, you know what I'm saying, on those type of topics, and letting them know that it's important. I appreciate him. I appreciate this content. Let's get back into it.
And so people went out into the street. So the question is, what's it take to get people out into the street?
I think it takes, like, I don't know, just killing, like, when they realize, like, their own people or their own kind is getting shot or getting killed or being oppressed by the cops. That's when it just takes them, like, this is just it, like, I have to protest.
I have to protest. It's done.
Yeah.
Something happens, something I see, it's done. I'm out, I'm in the streets. So let's look at the data, because I see signs like this. Police must stop shooting us. It's a genocide. I was going to put a sign up and I didn't take it down. Someone had a sign that said, it's a genocide of black people. Genocide of black people.
In a
Okay?
sense.
So we're going to look at the data here. Go to the next one.
That's how they feel.
People were killed by the police in 2016. How many people were killed by the police in 2016? What do you think? No, that's okay. No, guess. That's what this is about.
I'll say 7,000. I said 7,000.
This is
Cool.
all people. All people. What do you all think?
I eyeballed that, huh?
Come up with a number. Say it to the person next to you. What do you think?
I'm gonna stick with my answer.
Dude, what do you think?
I want to drop
500?
it down to 5.
I don't know. I'm just like, I just always
What do you think, bro? What's that? 200-300? What do you think?
300? No way.
How much?
No, it's in the thousands for sure. It's a good question.
All right, here we go. 2016, 963. Okay?
Oh,
You both nailed
I
it.
was way off.
You're good.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
But that's in 2016 though.
And
I'm thinking, okay, I'm
who are
thinking
these
more
people?
2020-ish.
What's their background?
That number gonna be different.
Who are the people that got killed? Of 963, how many do you think were black?
I would say about
About 600.
600 would be black.
600.
And then like the rest would be like maybe Hispanic.
600 were black. What would you say?
Probably like 500.
How many were black? Turn to the person next to you. Come up with a number.
I'll say about 600, and then the rest
What do you
is
say,
just
bro?
diverse.
300?
47%. Love guessing.
Dude, how many?
I hate being stupid. I don't.
550.
And like, there's a lot of people.
But he thought of the exact number, 557. What
Dude,
just?
how many?
Okay, he's involved.
All right, you ready? Next one. Okay, so here we go.
I'm surprised.
Okay. So we're off, right? If you're, what do you think about that number?
This is actually kind of surprising.
I'm surprised that the white number is higher than the black number, but at the same time, this is 2016. Before and after the pandemic in the 2020s, like the 2019 era, it got crazy. So like, that's what I was thinking. Like my dynamics, like I'm thinking thousands. Like the numbers gotta be different after all those riots and everything. You know what I'm saying? So this is an older video. That's why I was thinking the way I am. But still, didn't think the numbers was gonna look like that. Where the white people would have been the top ones and then black are under them. But it makes a lot of sense at the same time because who be robbing them banks and stuff like that? Like who be having the money to pull off some of these heists and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? And some they really go for it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know. I don't even know what this statistic kind of tells me in a sense. Like let's listen to it a little more and see what he says about it. Cause now it got me wondering. Come on, let's jump into it.
I honestly thought it would be more black people because they show more black people getting like. I know they like make it seem like black people are always getting like killed by the cops more than.
It says high.
That's all I see. Media like on Twitter. I only seen one video of a white guy getting shot like 7 times, but that was just like a couple days ago. But
Could it be the media? That's just what they putting in front of us.
I find that kind of surprising too, but like,
Is that
I
what you gonna
agree,
get
like,
at?
I see more media like showing black people getting killed by police than white people. So
Is it a
it's stuck
narrative?
in my mind since I see it more, then it happens more.
Okay. So
What
go
is
to
he
the
going?
next one.
I want to see what he gets at.
So here's U.S. population by ancestry. Okay. So here we are, 63 right now in mid 2016, 63% white, 17% Hispanic living. You see the numbers, right? So let's break this down and what we're talking about. Next slide. So here's the likelihood of being killed by the police. This is not, if you're doing illegal activity, this is just breaking it down. So you have 1 in 250,000 for black people. White people, clearly you're less likely to be killed if you're white. And are those numbers large? Are those numbers large to you? They are.
Like,
Is 1 in 250,000, is that high? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's not likely.
I don't really know. Like, it,
That's my answer. It's not likely.
like that ratio is a lot different than the rest. which
You
is-
can okay, hang on. Okay, why don't you answer it in the same way that you answered the other question?
Depends.
Yeah. I asked you the same question. Is
I
that high?
know. Yeah, no. It's not high, but it still does depend on the situation. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, hang on. I'll help you though. No, I'm not trying to trap you, by the way. The same answer flies
Yeah.
here. Because it just depends. It's high. It's still 1 out of 250,000 is still high. 1 out of 250 million is high. If you're that one person, and if that's your family, like if that's someone in your family, it doesn't matter if it's 1 out of 250 million. It matters if it's
Because it's
if
you.
your father's the only police officer that's hurt in the line of duty in all of the next 10 years.
He has a
that's
point.
still too high. It's still unacceptable to you, right? What do you
Right.
think about the number?
He has a point.
1 in 250,000.
I actually think that's, I don't know. I think that's pretty high, just because it's like a person. No matter, like, every life matters. So like, I think 1 out of 250,000 is like.
Okay, but listen, can I throw something at you now?
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't talked.
Before he say what he had to say, you gotta realize that 1 in 250,000 and 1 in 700,000 is 2 totally different percentages. You know what I'm saying? So 1 in 700,000 is a lot less likely to happen than 1 in 250,000. That's more likely to happen. And there's a lot more Caucasian people, as we saw on the charts. So the numbers is kind of the reason why that happened. Just what I'm getting out of my head, because if you have more people, you're more likely to get killed by the cops. You know what I'm saying? Like they maybe even double or triple the number of, you know what I'm saying, black people when it comes to these type of charts. You know what I'm saying? The actual population numbers. So it makes sense that their numbers would be higher, if you get what I'm saying. It makes sense that their total number would be higher because their total number of people is higher. The black people only made up 12% of the total community. Of course their number isn't going to be higher than who has the mass of the population. But we just going to jump back into it. I just wanted to say that just for other people that's thinking where I'm thinking right now. But let's jump back into it.
About what these people were doing, what people were doing who were killed by the police, right? So if I'm a criminal and I'm trying to shoot her father, and then her father's partner, somebody shoots me, then that's not a high number. That 1 in 250,000, I was trying to kill somebody and I got shot in the process. So that's not inherently a problem. It's either I kill this innocent person, like if I'm going to try to kill you, let's say, right? And somebody shoots me, you're like, thank God you shot that knucklehead, right? So right now, these numbers don't really mean a lot. Are we cool?
Okay. No
They
meaning
don't really
to
mean
the
a
number.
lot because
Get
we
it.
don't know what they are.
Right.
So we can say, well, yeah, look, it's 1 in 250. Well, clearly, black people are more likely to get killed. Well, maybe black people are doing more things to provoke the police. So, like, we don't know that. We really don't know yet. So we got to go further. You see, like, you got to keep going further.
You got to get the details. You got to
are
get more
there? Are you
information.
following me?
He's
Okay.
teaching them.
All
Teaching
right.
them.
Are we
He's a
cool?
good teacher.
Got it? This is a thinking class right now. I'm walking you through some thinking. Okay, go to the next one. So, 233 black people were killed by the police in 2016 out of a population of 39 million. Okay? How would you answer that young man's question? Am I next? How would you answer his question? You
I would honestly say yes, because I just feel like,
What?
I don't know, like, I feel like it's harder being a black male.
But what do you mean?
But the
He-
answer's not yes.
He's saying, am I next?
Yeah.
Am I next? You're saying, yes, you are next?
I
Wow,
mean, like,
man.
not like, I mean, like, he better watch out the things he does.
Okay, got it.
because,
Okay, I like that answer better.
Watch out.
Yeah, just
Watch
watch
out.
out because, like,
Right. Don't tell
he's
him yes, he's
kind of like a
next.
target, you know, his appearance.
Oh, your
He
answer
looks
got
like a
so much
typical
better
black
towards the end.
male, so
Okay, so if he's holding a sign and then I'm holding the sign, or like, I don't know, somebody else who looks more like him, a white guy and a dude, that dude over there who looks like a hippie. right, in the front row. If that dude's holding a sign, you're going to say, yeah, this guy, you should watch your back more than that guy.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, no, that's
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
What would you
Right.
say?
I think that opinion does make sense. Like, I agree with the, like, watch your back thing, but also, like, watch the situations you get yourself into as well. You know what I, like,
Mhm.
if you're in a more dangerous situation, then more can go wrong than if you're not. But I do
She's
agree,
not
like,
wrong.
if a white guy was holding that sign, it would be more likely for the black guy to
Got
have
you.
to be more in danger of getting hurt than a
Now I got a question. Now is this actual reality or is just the way they have us thinking because of the media and what they put in front of us? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a valid question because the numbers are showing that white people are dying more, but it's like they got more people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but at the same time, it comes back to even deeper than where he's going with it because the reason why they feel like this and reason why it seems like black people are, in my opinion, just let me say this real quick. Reason why they feel like black people are more likely to be criminals, drug dealers, and whatever other thing you could think of that's bad to you. I feel like, and it's not always the truth for every situation is different, but I feel like it's circumstance. Some Caucasian people will be born into a situation where they never struggle a day in their life. They don't even know what a struggle looks like. Some black people are going to be born into a situation where they're struggling from the moment they start. And you make decisions, and their decisions and their circumstances, environment, and guidance is what kind of molds them into what they become. So you either make the decision to be like, okay, I'm gonna work hard even though everything's going against me, or you make decisions where, okay, I'm gonna just be the stereotype they talking about. It's not that many options when you come from a certain predicament. So it's always about perspective. It's always about what angle you're looking at it from and where you're seeing it from. You know, everybody's gonna have an opinion. Everybody's gonna feel differently, and you always gotta get all the details before you. And that's what I feel like he's teaching them mostly. That you gotta get all the details before you can even form a hypothesis. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool. You know, it's cool. But I like where he's going with it. I like that he's challenging their minds, and it's a good topic. So let's jump back into it.
white guy.
Okay. All right, let's go one more. Are we cool? Is everyone following here? Are we good? Okay, we're going to go one more. Ready? So how many of the 963 people were unarmed? This is what we're talking about here, right? Remember the story? It's like if I got a gun to the two of you, right? Like I have a gun to your heads. That's very different than if I'm just like walking up next to you or behind you and somebody sees me and shoots me because they think I'm going to do harm to you, right? It's like very different. If I have a weapon, if I don't have it, if I say, hey, I'm going to kill these two people and I'm standing here and I have no weapon on me, I have nothing, and the police shoot me anyway, it's very different than if I'm standing here with a knife saying I'm going to kill these two people. Okay, are we good with that? So how many of the 963 people were unarmed? How many do you think were unarmed? Of the 963. What do you think? Unarmed. 963. We're talking white people. How many do you all think? Turn to the person next to you. What do you think? How many of the 963 were unarmed? Okay, here we go. Go to the next slide. So here are the numbers. This was the most comprehensive analysis of the data
48 were unarmed?
done by a research team at the Washington Post. It's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty accurate. So 69 unknown, but unknown enough that they didn't throw them in the unarmed category. So they were, you assume that the likelihood of being unarmed is equal percentage-wise, ratio-wise to the other. In a vehicle, can we be clear about a vehicle? That's a vehicle trying to run over police. Toy guns. A lot of those people, of course, were committing suicide in all likelihood because that seems to
true.
be the form. What do you think about that number? Hang on, can I ask you first? What do you think about that number? You said 600. 500, and you said 400. We're unarmed. You said 500. We're unarmed. What do you think about that number?
I'm actually kind of like shocked. I honestly
I
thought
want to
like,
say it's low, but it's still high.
I'm not saying like
How did
the
28
media,
unarmed
like,
people
I don't know.
die?
They just made it seem like
Well, get
the
killed.
guy was innocent. He was just trying to go about his way. But I don't know. Like I don't know the numbers they took or the guys they took it from or whatever. But I just think
I feel
it's
like
just
when I
crazy
hear
how
completely unarmed, that was a mistake
517
made.
had a gun. I would think it would be less than that.
Yeah. Okay.
To be honest,
Yeah. So you certainly think it would be more,
Way
especially
less than
given
that.
what you just said about looking at your Twitter feed and
Yeah.
Facebook and social media and so on,
I
right?
mean, well, like we know, like the media just exaggerates everything. So I guess not to pay attention to it.
What do you think about the number?
I'm actually pretty surprised by it too, but when I think about it more, I guess like the media does portray more of those stories where the person is unarmed. So again, like it makes me think that there are more cases of unarmed things, but clearly there's not.
So 22 out of 233 black people who police killed in 2016 were unarmed. 22 out of 233. Okay? So now the question is, so that means you have a 0.6 chance in a million. 0.6 chance, about half of 1% in a million of being unarmed, black skin, and killed by the police. So now, when you answer that guy's question, am I next? What would be your answer to that question?
Watch your back.
22 out of 233 black people.
My answer's the same.
Go with the bottom one.
At the bottom.
0.6 out of a million. If he stays unarmed, you say, bro, listen, in spite of how you're dressed, in spite of who you are, if you remain unarmed, right, that's the likelihood of you being killed by the police.
I think it's a lot because even 0.1 would be a lot to me.
So it goes back to what Brianna said. Brianna, right? Brenna? What Brenna said. It's like it's still to that one family, it matters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so what I'm going to say to the two of you is, look, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? It's like it just depends. We can argue that that's a high number. We can argue that's a low number. We can argue it's exaggerated. We can argue like, no, man, it's not exaggerated. It's still really high. Like, what is it? You can make the argument in lots of different directions. But what I want to say is, look, if we're going to make the arguments and if we're going to get involved in protests, like, can you go to the next slide, bro? No, hang on, go to one more. That, if you're going to protest like that, but this whole thing is based on police violence against black and brown people. So if you're going to protest, really step out in this way, you got to know what you're protesting. It's really important to understand what it is.
Know the facts.
You know what I mean? Is it like
I can respect that.
600 unarmed people, or is it, hang on, 42 or 48, or like what are we looking at here? Like, is it a genocide? So when I see someone holding a sign up that says "Stop the genocide of black people" at a protest, and I'm saying, go back. Can you go back 2 slides? I wouldn't call that a genocide. There's a lot happening here, but that's not what I would call it. And so for me, as someone who's talking about race relations, who sees these things from lots of perspectives,
Wouldn't say it's a
it's
genocide.
really important that we know what we're talking about so that we can be confident and have realistic and good conversations. Because I agree
Right.
with you. I mean, yeah, it's still high. And yet, it's not what most people think. If I to the microphone, if I went to that protest in St. Louis last week and I walked around with the microphone and I started asking people, hey man, how many people was it last year? How many people? And each one of those, and even the people who are armed, it doesn't matter, it's a life, right? But if I start asking that question, people are going to give me these really, really high answers. I'm sure 5,000, 8,000, I have no idea. It's like, oh man, that's not bringing us where we need to go. Okay?
I liked this video, man. It gave me a little bit of insight on some things because, like, I would have thought all those numbers would have been a lot higher, but that was 2016, so we'd have to do a more modern video. We're like at least 5 years, like it's 2023, so it's like that was a different type of statistic at a different time before a lot of things happened. But honestly, I feel like the things he preaching are very accurate. You need all the information before you can evaluate and make an hypothesis on something or speak on something, because like, yeah, it's going on and yeah, it's crazy, but it's not a genocide. It's not as big as people would like to portray it to be. But honestly, when it's not happening the same way to other people, that one family that it happened to, are those 1 in 250,000s, those couple of ones, it touches them deeper than anybody else. So it does matter that deeply to them. So we have to look at the perspective, because it's not happening to you, you know what I'm saying? But what if it was your brother? What if it was your sister, your auntie, your cousin? You know, it takes a different meaning then. But I thought this video was very educational. I want to do a lot more videos like this on the channel, so I hope you guys appreciated this one. If y'all liked this video, make sure y'all liking the video up. Always join the conversation in the comments. I will be happy to have a conversation with y'all. By liking the video, the way the YouTube algorithm works, the YouTube will show the video with more people, so you'll be directly helping me out. I would appreciate that. And also subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and we're gonna do great things together. I appreciate you. I hope you know what it is, and much dig.